Hello everybody, the Great Dino Ranger here again, back with another figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Jurassic World Rebirth Strike Attack Achillobator. I believe that's how you pronounce it, unless it's Achillobator or Achillobator, however you pronounce it, but I've always pronounced it as Achillobator, so that's how I'm going to pronounce it for the entirety of the video. But yeah, this is a brand new species from Mattel, at least in terms of last year's toy line for the Rebirth toy line, and this is a new dromaeosaur from Mattel. Mattel has done very well with giving us a good handful of dromaeosaurs, not only some that have appeared in the movies themselves, but ones that haven't been in the film. So, you know, Mattel, just like other species of dinosaurs, they're really good at kind of building up the family tree of each like species, which is pretty awesome. So cool to have another dromaeosaur added to the collection, and I'm really happy to have this one. I recently picked this up at Walmart. It's actually the last of the strike attacks that I'm actually looking for, so I'm very pleased about that. Obviously the last one I got before this was the Nanotyrannus, so that was the second to last strike attack figure I needed, and finally I got the last one, and I'm really glad these are still out in stores, because there's so many out there that I'm still looking for. But yeah, finally got the Achillobator, last strike attack I'm needing. There's still a lot, I mean, the ones from the survival line, at least the first wave, they're cool. I do like them, but a lot of them are all just species I already have, so I'm not like super, like I don't need them right away sort of thing. I'm mostly tracking down new species that I don't have first. So in terms of that, the Achillobator is the last one until whatever new wave of the survival figures comes out for the strike attack assortment. But anyways, enough rambling. Here's a brief look at the packaging for the Achillobator for these strike attack figures. It's pretty much your standard Rebirth packaging. You know, it shows you you can move the tail for some head bobbing action. You got the nice little sunset jungle area in the background. And I apologize if you hear any weird noises. The trash trucks are going around collecting our trash because it's our trash day today. So if you hear any weird noises, it's the large trash truck across the street from me, so do apologize for that. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. But here at the bottom, Jurassic World Rebirth, and it says Strike Attack Achillobator, and you got the classic Spinosaurus right there and the Mattel logo. Here it says Jurassic World Rebirth, some more stuff right there, and then here on the back it says Jurassic World Rebirth, facts app information, Strike Attack Achillobator, part of the land assortment. The head striking action, you know, is pretty typical for a raptor. It's either using its head or its killer claws, so this is a pretty good feature in my opinion. And then you got the others from this lineup. This is part of the wave 2 of the strike attacks. You get the Zuniceratops, Herrerasaurus, and the Nanotyrannus, which this one was the only other one I wanted, which I already got. So yeah, these two not really interested in getting right now, so yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with finally having this one in my collection. So let's go ahead and unbox this one. I have scissors right here with me. Sometimes I do these unboxings, sometimes I don't, but it's pretty easy to get these little figures out because they just pop out just like that. Alrighty, so here we have the new Achillobator. And this one's actually a pretty sweet looking dromaeosaur, I would say. It's a nice little silhouette. I do love how Mattel gave this raptor some feathers. I honestly feel like Mattel doesn't really do a whole lot of feathers when it comes to their raptors for the most part. I mean, Jurassic Park velociraptors, obviously those ones aren't going to have a whole lot of feathers because obviously they're from the movies. Pyroraptor is the only other one that's fully feathered. But obviously the Atrociraptors don't have feathers, but that's just because it's supposed to be screen accurate. The only ones that are pretty much feathered is pretty much the Achillobator and the Utahraptor. So there are some that have feathers, but I just feel like, you know, we don't have any raptors that are fully feathered other than the Pyroraptor and the Utahraptor. It's almost like maybe Mattel wants to keep the fully feathered look towards the Pyroraptor and give the other ones kind of a half and half, you know, half skin, half feathers type deal. I don't know why, but even their Austroraptor unfortunately doesn't have a lot of feathers on it. So but either way, I do appreciate how Mattel gave this raptor feathers on it, so I'm really happy about that. From what I know about Achillobator is actually a fairly large dromaeosaur. I think it lived in Mongolia during the Cretaceous. I might be wrong on that, but it's a really large dromaeosaur. Like, I think it's almost similar in size, maybe a tad bit smaller, but roughly similar towards a Utah raptor, or at least a real life Utah raptor, not really the Mattel one. That one's a little bit oversized, but I think in real life, Achillobator was a very large, hefty dromaeosaur. Probably one you don't actually want to run into in real life. But yeah, and this figure, I mean, it captures the look of it pretty nicely. When you first look at it, I wouldn't say it screams Achillobator. I mean, Achillobator doesn't really have like any main features, maybe in the shape of the skull, but I don't think Mattel really captured that on this one. It's only Achillobator because of the name tag, obviously. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a pretty nice, solid little raptor figure, I would say. I like, like I said, I like the silhouette, I like the colors, I like the sculpt. Everything about this figure just looks really nice. I will say right now, the only thing I probably have that's a little bit of a nitpick, I wouldn't say I don't hate it, but it's probably just a tiny little complaint I really have, and that's the posture, the pose that it's in. I feel like it's a little bit too upright, in my opinion, because raptors kind of need a bit more horizontal, with the tails kind of sticking up a little bit more. This one, I feel like it's just a bit more, I guess, standing a little too upright, I would say, which is not terrible, but with my raptors, I like to see them in their classic, horizontal look, like Mattel's done with their previous raptors. So that's probably the only nitpick I really have with this figure. And sure, maybe it lacks a lot of feathers in some areas, so it's not entirely accurate, but I think the posture is probably a bit more of a standout to me than the lack of feathers, in my opinion. So, taking a look at the detail here on the head, it looks really good. It's a really interesting looking head shape for a dromaeosaur. Not really accurate to a real life Achillobator, but it does look pretty good. It has like kind of like that standard jaw shape, kind of like your standard Jurassic Park raptors. Kind of a little bit of like a little hook at the end there, which is pretty interesting. The eyes look really good too. The nice little slit around the eyes. So that's really cool. And then the teeth look nicely done as well, nicely sculpted, for them not being, rubber material, but they do look really good, I would say. And then here on the inside of the mouth, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little bit of detail on the roof of the mouth. It's not painted at all, so it's kind of hard to see. But the tongue looks nicely painted. It's really wet and glossy looking, which is really good. Kind of adds to that, realistic saliva-covered mouth. And the lower jaw teeth look really nice as well. And they got the little gum flaps there on the side. Unfortunately, those ones aren't painted. And then here at the back of the head, actually here around the head, you got a little bit of tiny little scales sculpted all throughout the head, which actually look really nice in my opinion. And then here towards the back of the head, it's pretty much covered in this nice bumpy scaly skin texture, and you got a really nice crest of feathers up here, kind of like a mohawk a little bit, but it's like very prominent up here and then a little bit here on the back of the head. But yeah, I mean, it looks really good. I really like the detail and the little feathers right back here. So Mattel does a really good job when it comes to sculpt work on their feathers. So yeah, I really do like the look of that. It makes it stand out compared to other raptors, especially the Jurassic Park velociraptors that also have little quills back here. So this one kind of makes it stand out so it doesn't look too similar. And you got a little tough of feathers here towards right in front of the eyes, which is cool. It looks like a horn, but it's just a little clump of feathers right there. And then you got a little bit of nice little wrinkling in the skin right here. A bit more smooth here at the underside. And then here on the body, here's something I want to point out. All over the body and a little bit on the hands, the legs, and a little bit here towards the base of the tail. I really do like the skin texture they have going on here. It's very odd looking, but it's also very unique. It stands out compared to other raptors from Mattel. But it looks really good. I really do like the way this texture looks. The way I can best describe it in terms of what it looks like is, to me, it looks like the skin that you would see on a bird with all of its feathers plucked off, and all those little bumps on its skin where feathers are attached, but it's just that bumpy looking texture on birds that have all of their feathers plucked off. That's what this reminds me of, which is kind of funny because raptors, dinosaurs are birds, or it's the other way around. Birds are dinosaurs, so kind of like some relation there, which is pretty cool. So I really do like the little texture that they have on the skin right here. It's very interesting. It almost looks like it's supposed to have feathers on here, but someone plucked them all off. But yeah, nice little detail here of feathers on the back, and a little tuft of feathers here on the back as well, kind of sticking up, so that looks really good. Nice little mat of muscle definition poking through the skin. You got a little bit of like little rib cage kind of shown right there, some nice little wrinkles in the skin on the underside. And again, the nice little bumpy looking texture, which looks really good. The arms look really nice as well. I like the little scoots and the claws themselves, and they're positioned in an accurate way, so that's really nice. And it's got a nice little amount of feathers here on the arms. Too bad they're not the wing feathers that raptors are always portrayed having, so it's a little unfortunate that they're not large wing feathers. Seems like it's only the Utahraptor and the Pyroraptor that's going to have those, but those look they look pretty good though. I do appreciate having feathers on the arms either way. Here at the underside, nice little amount of very faint little scale detail on the underside, and I guess there really is some here on the underside of the neck too, but very faint scales along the underside of the dinosaur, which is really nice, and that pretty much continues all the way down to the tip of the tail. Nice little wrinkles in the tail back here, and I like you got some more kind of muscle parts kind of poking through the top of the tail. And here at the legs, nice round of muscles poking through the skin, little kneecap sculpted, little calf muscles here, which look really good. And the feet themselves look really nice too, classic dromaeosaur feet. I like the scoots on each of the toes, and the claws look really good, especially the little killing claw right there, and the dew claw looks nice as well. So yeah, the feet on this one look really great. And then here towards the tail, you got a really beautiful tail fan of feathers right back here, which looks really good. Mattel did an excellent job with the sculpt work on the tail feathers, and you can see all the individual lines sculpted in each feather. So Mattel put a lot of work into this one. They put a lot of work in all their feathers, so that's really good. That's some points right there, because I really do like the detail they put in the feathers. It just looks so good, and you got a lot of feathers here towards the tip of the tail as it kind of fades into the skin, so that looks really good. Even same on the underside, you can see where the tail is, and then all the feathers around it, so that just looks really good. So yeah, Mattel did an excellent job, and I like the feathers, how they kind of go along the side of the tail right here. So yeah, I really do like that a lot. So it looks like the feathers are only present here at the top of the head, a little bit here back of the neck, a little bit here on the back of the body, and then the tip of the tail, and some on the arms. And I think you even got a little bit of feathers here, I totally forgot about this, on the bottom of the chin right here. So you got a little tuft of feathers dangling off of the chin right there, which is really good, or really cool. So I really do appreciate that. Kind of giving it a really unique look for this raptor. And I'm digging it. I really do like it a lot. That looks really good. I really wish it was painted though, so that it'd be a bit more noticeable. But either way, I really do like how there's some more sculpted feathers here at the bottom of the jaw right there. But yeah, detail is really great on this little raptor right here, and I really do dig it a lot. In terms of colors, the colors are really nice too. You got the nice kind of brownish colors, and it kind of matches like a desert environment, which is what I think of when I think of Mongolia. But again, you know, this dinosaur could have lived in an area of Mongolia that was covered in forest or something like that. But either way, this does look like colors you would find in a forest environment as well. But yeah, the colors look really nice. I like the little beige color they have for the lower jaw and a little bit down the neck. And you got like this I think this black color for majority of the head, the feathers, and it pretty much goes down the neck and fades into the body, at least where all these back feathers are, before it fades into like this light brown color, which is pretty much covers the entirety of the body, including the legs and the arms. And that tail, yeah, the rest of the tail is covered in that brown as well. And the tip of the tail, the large fan of feathers, is like this yellowish, orange, brownish color, which makes it stand out really nicely. So I really do like how these colors on the tail kind of pop, kind of like it's using it for intimidation or display, to attract a mate or to fend off rivals or something like that. And you got a little bit like this orangish brown color for the tip of the snout too, kind of giving us a bit more color more color happening around the face, which again kind of makes it stand out a little bit. And a nice little light green for the eye, which for the black slit, the same color as the head right here, it makes it pop. And you get a nice color for the teeth, which is different than the color you have down here. And then a nice little fleshy color for the tongue only. Too bad the gum flaps on the inside of the mouth, or the roof of the mouth, is not painted. But, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I really do like the colors on this one. I do dig them a lot. For articulation, it's pretty basic, but the arms right here, they just move forward and backwards. That's pretty much it. Same with the legs, forward and backwards. Yeah, I really do like the detail on the legs right here. I just noticed that just based on where the light source is heading, really great detail on the legs. I know I keep on saying that, but I really do like the detail on that. And that's pretty much it for articulation. It's just the arms and the legs for the most part. And also there's the little scan code for the bottom of the feet and the little Jurassic logo. Everything else is tied to the action feature, which is all with the tail. You just basically push the tail down. And that's basically all you do. You just push it down and the neck goes down and the jaw opens. So a nice little striking head action to attack someone or something like that. So that's really good. A nice little basic action feature for a raptor. And I think it works perfectly in my opinion. Alrighty, so for comparisons, we're going to compare it with a human figure. Here we have Dr. Henry Loomis next to the Achillobator. And yeah, I mean, it's a fairly nice size. I do think that the Achillobator is a tad bit too small here. It was definitely a large raptor, roughly similar in size to Utahraptor, I would say, in my opinion. Maybe a bit smaller. So it'd have to be a bit taller for sure and a bit longer, obviously. A lot of Mattel figures are a bit more compacted instead of fully elongated, I would say. But I mean, it still looks like a large raptor. It just looks like the same size as a Jurassic Park Velociraptor, but I do think it should have been a tad bit bigger to match the size of a real-life Achillobator. But other than that, these two, the raptors compared to these human figures, look really nice in my opinion. And last but not least, here we have the Achillobator compared with a few other dromaeosaurs I have in the collection. We have Velociraptor, Austroraptor, and Pyroraptor. And these all look really great together. I really do like expanding these family groups of dinosaurs with all sorts of different species. I love how Mattel just keeps on doing that. So this is a really cool to see all these. Obviously, I'm missing the Utahraptor. I forgot to bring it out here, but it would be, I would bring it back here if I had it with me. But yeah, a really nice array of dromaeosaurs, and I'm looking forward to seeing what other dromaeosaurs Mattel will come out in the future, because there's still some that I would love to see get made in figure form. And you can kind of see the difference in application of feathers between the Pyroraptor and the Achillobator. They're very similar, but again, it's very different at the same time. But it's really nice to have them kind of be, separate from each other so they don't look too similar. But other than that, they look really great together. Alrighty everyone, so that's about to wrap it up for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. One of the things that I forgot to point out when taking a look at the sculpt is that there's some nice little sculpted scratches on the figure itself, which is really great, kind of going back to the last of the Chaos Theory lineup of figures last year, where all of them had like damage sculpted into their the bodies to kind of give it a bit more of a lifelike appearance, which I dug that a lot. That was really cool, and it looks like they kind of brought that back with this Achillobator, because you got a little bit of scratch marks here towards the base of the tail. You got some here on the side of the leg, maybe some here on the side, maybe not. That might be just skin wrinkles. You got some here, tiny ones here on the arms, some larger gashes right here, kind of around the shoulder area. And then I think you got some here as well, here on the arms, and here on the legs, and a little bit more down the tail. So that's really cool. I really do like the little damage scratch marks they have on the figures. It kind of gives them a bit more of a lifelike appearance. So I really do appreciate that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the Achillobator. I really do enjoy it. I like getting a bunch of new species from Mattel. This is a fine addition to my collection. And yeah, I love everything about it. The sculpt is pretty nice. I like the colors. I like the action feature. With the only, minor nitpick is just maybe the posture. But other than that, it's a solid figure in my opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again for the next video.